Good morning, Brian. I'm sure you've been aware of what's been happening around the world, particularly the sports world over the past 48 hours. In light of that, what should we expect to see from the Dolphins today and or tomorrow? And has there been any discussion about making any sort of statement?
Well, we talked about this the other day, and I addressed the Jacob Blake situation with you guys and talked to you about how upsetting it was, how frustrating it is when these situations occur time after time after time, and how we need more unity. So we spoke as a team. Look, we understand there's a lot of things. They're not where they need to be right now. It pains us. We spoke. We decided to practice, but we all know and understand that things aren't where they need to be right now. And we're going to meet later today and just talk about some things we can, put into action so that we can, try to create some, make a difference, create some change. So, but we are going to practice. Look, I mean, this is, you guys know this. I've lived this. I grew up in this era. I've had guns pointed at me by police officers. This is not something I take lightly. This team takes lightly. I've had multiple conversations. They've spoken to you. I know Kayvon talked to you about his situation and his other experiences that guys on our team have had that are unfortunate, and we need change. So. I mean, that's where I'm at on this situation.
Adam?
Brian, what went into the thinking of activating Xavier Howard off both the COVID and PUP lists, and should we expect to see him to practice today?
Yeah, X is, ready to, get out on the field. He's progressing with obviously, the COVID, the knee. We felt like he was ready to get out there and participate in practice. And again, he's got a long way to go as far as from a conditioning standpoint, drill work, communication with his teammates. So, this is the first step.
Mike?
Good morning, Coach. Earlier this week, you talked about Malcolm Perry and what you liked in him. Can I ask you this? I know it's early on, but do you see a comparison with the player you were once around, Julian Edelman, as far as a kid who was a college quarterback, converted to a slot back, and the things that he did? Do you see the early stages of that in Malcolm?
Yeah, I was with Julian. I was I was a special teams assistant when he came in. But Julian's a great player. I mean, that's just what it boils down to. And I really don't like making comparisons. Really in any area. I think Malcolm's got to focus on being the best version of Malcolm that he can be. So to compare him to, Julian or, any other player in the league, I think it's unfair. I think he's just got to continue to do what he's doing, which is stack good days together, learn the offense, learn, the kicking game, and do, everything and anything he can to help this team have some success, which is what he's done. I would say all the the good players I've been around have taken that approach. When you start making comparisons, it doesn't work out really for anyone in any area. Am I as good as this guy? Am I better than that? I mean, let's just focus on and worry about today, getting better, and let the chips fall where they fall after that. So that's my message to him. I wouldn't compare him to really anyone. He's got to compete with himself. Any good player I've been around is taking that approach.
Alan?
Good morning, Brian. You guys this week have brought back Trent Harris and Avery Moss. Given the circumstances and everything going around with COVID, is familiarity even more important when you're looking to add to your roster than maybe in years past?
No, not necessarily. I think need played a big part in that, and had a couple guys banged up. And yeah, we know Trent, we know Avery, but we also worked out a few other players. So again, we're always going to try to bring in guys who we think can help this team from a practice standpoint, from a playing standpoint. So it doesn't hurt. I tell you that, it doesn't hurt at all. That we know the player, we know what type of people they are, we know how important the game is. It doesn't hurt them at all. But we're always going to try to bring in players who we think can help us.
Joe.
Good morning, Flo. I wanted to ask what we might expect to see in terms of today's practice and tomorrow, and what you hope to get out of each day.
Good fundamentals, good technique, good communication. We'll have the officials there, so we'll get a good look as far as playing the right way, no holding, offensively or defensively, getting up to the line of scrimmage quickly to get the ball snapped. But just overall improvement in every area: throwing, catching, blocking, defeating blocks, tackling, breaking tackles, all those fundamentals and basic football. Basic overall football. I'm looking for just improvement from that standpoint. Again, we're a young team, so just kind of trying to build the continuity. A lot of these guys haven't played together. We're still, in the beginning stages from that standpoint. So we got a long way to go. I mean, it's a young team, it's an inexperienced team, so we're just taking this one day at a time.
Safid.
Hello, good morning. I wanted to get your impressions of Gerald Alexander and the job he's doing so far, and especially we've got some insight on this game that he has the secondary playing. Seems like a college coach, former college coach trying to make an impact here. What can you say about the early strides that he's making as a coach?
Well, he keeps a fresh bald head, Safid, so I know you like him. But yeah, GA is a good young coach. Obviously played in the league. Smart, energetic for sure. I think he does a great job of communication. He's a good teacher, good young coach. And I'm excited to work with him. He and I have had, a lot of conversations. He's over there coaching the secondary. So we have a lot of, safeties was the first position I coached. So we have a lot of conversations about that group and, some of the adjustments, some of the improvements they need to make. So, my conversations are with GA and then all the other coaches. I think we got a good young staff with Campanelli and Austin and Hobby. Charles Burks is coming along. So the same thing offensively and in the kicking game. So I'm excited about all those guys, and I'll try to keep my head shaved like he does and you do, Safi.
We got time for one more. We'll go to Kyle.
Morning, Coach. I want to keep the focus in the secondary real quick. I was hoping you could speak on the value of having two safeties in Eric and Bobby, who have so much experience playing cornerback at the pro level, and how that can help you keep your defense multiple in the back end.
Yeah, I mean, it's important. So, when guys have played multiple positions and they, especially at the safety position, to be able to relive some of their corner days, some of the issues they may have had at that position, and then communicate it and understand it from that perspective, I think that goes a long way. It's one thing to, try to put yourself in those shoes. It's another thing to have actually been in them. But the flip side of that is, not a lot of corners have gone down in the box and played, had to fit the run game either. So there's a learning curve and a learning process for guys who move from corner to safety or safety to linebacker or linebacker to D-line. There's always a little bit of a learning curve. I think both guys have accepted the challenge to move positions. I think it helps the communication to have been in those other spots going from corner to safety. But there's some challenges as well. I would say, fitting a run and dealing with, run fits is a little bit different for both guys. Obviously, Rowe more than Bobby, but at the end of the day, I think both guys are working to improve. They're working to get better, and I'm pleased with both guys.